Hello students, today we are going to study about the chapter circles, okay, which is in your portion. So circles, you are familiar with this shape as you have all known what is a circle. You have seen a circle, okay. So let us talk about the definition of a circle. The collection of all the points in a plane which are at a fixed distance from a fixed point in the plane is called a circle. So okay, so when you join so many points together and you make a figure, that figure is called a circle, okay, as you can see in the slide. Now let us quick about the parts of a circle. Okay, this again you have been studying in your previous classes, but let us brush up and revise which are the parts of the circle, okay, mentioned here. So first of all, you can see that circular figure, that outer structure is called the circumference of the circle, okay, and a small portion on the circumference is called the arc, okay, which is marked in red. The center of the circle, there is a dot which is called the origin, okay, and when a line passes through that center and touches the periphery of the circumference of the circle is called the diameter, okay. Half the diameter is the radius, and you can see a green line. The green line is actually called the chord. And what is a chord? Chord is basically a line which touches the periphery of the circle, but not necessary it has to pass from the center. So that line is called a chord, okay. Then you have a sector, okay, which is colored in painted in yellow. Now what is that sector? The sector is basically formed by an arc, okay, you can see the portion arc and two radii, okay. There are two radius, you can see, so two radii and an arc form the sector. Now let us quickly talk about the theorems which are related to the important theorems which are related to circle. The first theorem, to prove equal chords of a circle subtend equal angles at the center. Okay, so the proof is we are all given two equal chords AB and CD of a circle with center O. We want to prove that angle AOB is equal to angle COD. In triangle AOB and COD, as you can see in the figure, AO is equal to OC, radii of a circle, OB is equal to OD, radii of the circle. Therefore, your AB is equal to CD also, that is given in the question, okay. Therefore, your triangle AOB is congruent to, that sign I hope you are very familiar with now, okay, congruent to triangle COD by SSS rule, that is side, side and side. This gives angle AOB equal to angle COD by CPCT. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. Okay. Let us talk about theorem 2. Now, theorem 2 is nothing but the converse of theorem 1. Converse, you can say it is the opposite of. Okay. So the theorem 2 states if the angles subtended by the chords of a circle at the center are equal, then the chords are also equal. So this is related to the first theorem and just the opposite of the first theorem. So when you prove the first theorem, just the opposite proving will be your theorem number 2. Now theorem number 3. The perpendicular from the center of a circle to a chord bisects the chord. Okay. When you draw a line that is perpendicular to a line, okay, from the center, so it bisects the chord, so that line gets bisected. That means you need to prove in this question that your A to M and M to B are equal. So let us prove theorem 4. Now when you prove theorem 4, automatically your theorem 1 and 2 also gets involved into it. To prove the line drawn from the center of a circle to bisect a chord is perpendicular to the chord. Okay. So prove, let AB be a chord of circle with center O and O is joined to the midpoint M of AB. We have to prove that OM is perpendicular to AB. We will join O to A and O to B. In triangles OAM and OMB, OA is equal to OB, which is given again. AM is equal to BM, which is again given. OM is equal to OM, which is a common side. Therefore, your triangle OAM is congruent to triangle OBM by again SSS rule, and this gives angle OMA is equal to angle OMB is equal to 90 degree. Again by CPCT, corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. Quickly moving to the theorem number 5, there is one and only one circle passing through three given non-collinear points. Now collinear means lying on the straight line. Those are called collinear. Non-collinear means which are not lying on the straight line. So if you take any 3 points, this theorem states that if you take any 3 points and try to make a circle out of joining those points, so you will have only one circle, okay, which you will get out of joining these points. So you can see A, B and C, these are 3 points, and when you draw a circle passing three points, you will get just one circle out of it. So this is the theorem number 5. Now theorem number 6 states, to prove equal chords of a circle, of a congruent circles rather, are equidistant from the center or centers, okay, they will be equal. So we will take a circle of any radius and we'll draw two equal chords AB and CD of it, and also the perpendiculars OM and ON on them from the center O. We'll divide the figure into two so that D falls on B and C falls on A. So you can see on the figure how it is being done. We observe that O lies on the center and N falls on M. Therefore, OM is equal to ON. Okay. So basically your O to M and O to N are equal distances. Okay. When you take equal chords, so the distance from the center will be equal. Now theorem number 7, chords equidistant from the center of a circle are equal in length. So theorem number 7 is basically again the converse of theorem number 6. Okay. So if you prove theorem number 6, definitely you can prove theorem number 7, because it is again the converse, or rather you can say that's the opposite proving related to theorem number 6. Okay, now theorem number 8. To prove the angle subtended by an arc at the center is double the angle which is subtended by it at any point on the remaining part of the circle. Okay. Proof: given an arc PQ of a circle, subtending angles POQ at the center O and PAQ at a point A on the circle, on the remaining part of the circle. So we'll consider 3 different cases of the arc PQ is minor, when PQ is a semicircle, and when PQ is a major arc. Okay, now 3 conditions. So let us begin by joining AO and extending it to the point P. So in all the cases, BOQ is equal to OAQ plus AQO, because an exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the two interior opposite angles. This property already we have learned. So now in triangle OAQ, OA is equal to OQ, radii of the circle. Therefore angle OAQ is equal to OQA. This also gives us one more clarification, that BOQ and is twice the angle OAQ. Similarly, angle BOP is equal to twice angle OAP. This is the second proving. Therefore, from 1 and 2, we prove that BOP plus BOQ is twice angle OAP plus OAQ. Okay, so this is the same as POQ is equal to twice angle PAQ, which is the third statement which we are getting. So for the cases 1, 2 and 3, PQ is major arc and 3 is replaced by reflex angle POQ, which is equal to twice of PAQ. Okay, so you can see 3 different figures where we have taken the minor arcs, the arc, semicircle and the major arcs. So the cases are different but the answer will be same. Now moving quickly to theorem number 9. To prove angles in the same segment of a circle are equal. Okay, according to the theorem number 6, PAQ is half of POQ and half into 180 degrees, that is 90. So if we take any point C on the semicircle, again we get that PCQ is equal to 90. Okay, you can see the figure. Suppose we join these points P and Q and form a chord PQ in the figures used in the theorem 6, then what will happen? Angle PAQ is also called the angle formed in the same segment PAQP. A can be any point on the remaining part of the circle. So if we take any other point C on the remaining part of the circle, so we'll get the angle POQ is twice of angle PCQ, which is equal to again twice of PAQ. Therefore, PCQ is equal to PAQ. Okay, so angles in the same segment of a circle are equal. Now moving to theorem number 10, if a line segment joining two points subtends equal angles at two other points lying on the same side of the line containing the line segment, the 4 points lie on a circle, that is they are concyclic. Okay, thus the theorem number 10 is the converse of 9 again. Okay, this states the same thing as which has been stated in theorem number 9. So it is the converse of it. So actually you have to learn just 5 theorems, and the rest 5 are the converse of the 5 theorems. Okay, so you need to remember the first 5 theorems, and the all other theorems are just the opposite of it. So you have to just link and correlate and remember. Okay, now coming to the cyclic quadrilateral property. A quadrilateral ABCD is said to be cyclic if all the 4 vertices of it lie on a circle. If you observe the cyclic quadrilateral, we find that angle A plus C is 180 and B plus D is equal to 180, neglecting that there are some errors in any measurements. Okay, so we conclude that the sum of either pair of the opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral is 180. So this is the basic property of a cyclic quadrilateral. In converse of this, we conclude that if the sum of a pair of opposite angles of a quadrilateral is 180, then the quadrilateral is a cyclic. Okay, that's all for this chapter. Thank you, children.